So the CodeChef starter 122nd question. The question is sub or swap. So the question says that we are given two numbers x and y, and we have to perform two operations. The two operations are, if x is greater than y, we have to swap x and y. Otherwise, we have to set x is equal to y minus x and y is equal to x. When x becomes 0, we have to output y. Okay, so the input format is, we are given t test cases, and every t lines we have two numbers x and y, and the output will be the y value of y when x becomes 0. The constants are, t is greater than 1 and t goes to 10 to the power 5, and x and y are less than 10 to the power 9 and greater than 1. Okay, so let's discuss the example. So let's discuss an example. Here x is given 6 and y is given 3. So we have to perform operation. Operation 1 is, when x is greater than y, we have to swap x and y. Otherwise, when we have to do x is equal to y minus x and y is equal to x. So here x is greater than y. So simply we will swap x and y. So x becomes 3 and y becomes 6. Now x is smaller than y. So this we will perform second operation. So here x becomes 3, 6 minus 3, 3, and y becomes 3. The next operation, it becomes equal. So we will perform second operation. So here x will become 3 minus 3, which is equal to 0, and y becomes 3. Now here x becomes 3, so we will return y is equal to 3.
So yeah, let's see how we can actually solve this question. So now, if you observe, we are given with two values x and y, right? Now, let's assume that in this case, x is a bigger value, okay? So if x is a bigger value, we have to swap x and y, right? So okay, let's just assume instead that x is a smaller value, okay? Let's say x is a smaller value. Now, y minus x will be a value that is less than y, right? Y minus, because x, if x is some positive value, then y minus x will always be a value that is less than y, right? So the difference is actually a value that is less than y, right? Now, when this difference is in the next step assigned to x value, right? This difference is assigned to the x value, right? And then again the next step continues on, right? So since this difference is less, at every step the difference will keep decreasing, and at one point x will become equal to y, right? And at that point, when you continue and perform the operation x equals to y minus x, in that case x value will become 0, right? And whatever that y value is will be there, that will be returned. Now, if you observe this entire process, this is exactly the algorithm that works in GCD algorithm, right? So the GCD algorithm works in a similar way. So if you know about the GCD algorithm, GCD algorithm says that GCD of a comma b equals to GCD of a minus b comma b, given a is bigger than b, right? Now we are doing in this case also we are doing bigger number minus smaller number in every case, right? And this is also the same process basically, right? And even this operation keeps on continuing until GCD of a comma b becomes basically this operation continues until a point where we get a number that is equal to each other, right? And even in that case, after that case, we'll get GCD of x comma 0, and the answer will eventually be x, right? Okay, here x is basically y, but yeah, basically even GCD will go in the same sequence, and at one point we'll get both the values as equal, and eventually that value will be the answer, right? So people familiar with the GCD algorithm will be easily able to solve this question. But even if you're not familiar with this, it's good to be familiar with this algorithm because it's a very standard algorithm, right? So to solve this question, you don't have to actually emulate this process. You can actually emulate this process if you want to by writing a recursive function. But the better thing to do is you can also just use the inbuilt function of GCD. So if you're using Python or Java, I'm sure there'll be a GCD function in the math module. Okay. So yeah, that's how you solve the question. Basically, just find the GCD of A comma B, right? And the time complexity of this code will be O of log of max of A comma B. Okay. So yeah.